Ken Moellman. There's been a lot of good speakers and a lot of great topics, and if anybody ever wants to talk politics shop, I love to do it. So, but I'm here real quick. My name is Ken Moellman, as David mentioned. I've been the Libertarian Party chairman in Kentucky from 2007 to today. I live in northern Kentucky, basically grew up there, live about halfway between northern Kentucky and Lexington. So the main reason I'm here today is to talk about, as Jenny started to get into, the cigarette tax, and more specifically sin taxes in general. On April 1st, a carton of major brand cigarettes went from $24 per carton to $38 per carton. This equates to $3.80 per pack, which after sales tax comes out to $4.03 per pack. This means that there is $1.84 in direct taxes on each pack of cigarettes and only $2.19 for the rest. Now, factoring in your hidden taxes, paying payroll taxes and the Medicare and Social Security and whatnot, at this point, the state and the federal government take a cut as large as everyone else involved in getting that cigarette from the farm to the consumer, which means that they take a cut equivalent to the labor of the farmer, the farm laborer, the warehouse workers, the tobacco company, its employees, the distributors, the store owner, and the guy behind the counter selling you a pack of cigarettes. Now, personally, I don't know what I'm getting in return. I don't see why they need to take that large of a cut, and I know that our farmers in this state are going to feel the brunt of this very, very soon, and I'll get to that in a moment. Now, what we've fallen prey to is what I call the sin tax bait and switch. What happens is it's very difficult to raise taxes for a new program. You know, if it's not existing today, why do we need it? Do we really need it? There's lots of questions that good fiscal conservatives, like I assume all of us are here today, yes?
Yeah.
We ask these questions. Is this really needed? Do we really need this? We're getting along fine without it today. So instead, they say, well, you know what we'll do is we'll expand this current program and we'll fund it through this sin tax. I guess, Jim. Or, oh my gosh, there's a federal budget, or excuse me, a budget crisis, and we're going to fill the gaps in with this sin tax, which is what, in theory, Kentucky was doing. Now, this is a three-step process. You know, it's not as easy as just passing it, but it is easier than, you know, we don't yell as loud when it's direct taxation for everyone. So, the first step is to pass the sin tax and expand government, which has been done and is being done on a daily basis. So as sin taxes have now been passed, S-chip has been expanded. In theory, Kentucky should be getting more revenue. More on that in a moment. Then for a couple of years, the budget runs short. And it runs shorter and shorter every year because as the sin taxes are there, the whole purpose of a sin tax is to reduce that behavior. That is the key. It is about social control, about controlling people and their choices, which I personally find offensive. But regardless of that, from an economic standpoint, it is a tax and a funding mechanism doomed to failure. It will not succeed. So after several years, step 3, our benevolent government comes and says, oh my gosh, this great program that we really need and is now everybody relies upon is underfunded, and boy, we need some money. Well, you know, the way we were doing it before, that's not really a good permanent revenue source. Perhaps we need a permanent revenue source. And they find various ways to do that, whether it's through property tax increases, sales tax increases, or a number of other types of tax increases that are quote-unquote more permanent and less apt to be avoidable behaviors. You can't really get rid of your house. You need a place to live. You can't get rid of your car. You need to be able to get to work. Well, most of us do anyway. And you cannot avoid sales taxes because you still need to buy stuff. We need clothes, we need food, we need stuff. So it is much easier to then go back to that public as part of this step 3 and say, well, Now we need to raise taxes on everything because now it's not a new program. We're just fixing a funding problem. It's just an issue. You know, this is stuff that's already provided, and it's a lot harder to fight that because now the government's been doing it, and now in theory there are people that rely on this program that 3 years ago didn't exist. So to get back to the sin taxes and the beauty of, or the, I guess, lack of intelligence on the state of Kentucky's part, today, actually this morning, the Louisville Courier-Journal reported that cigarette tax revenue for the state of Kentucky is down 6.4% this year. Gee, what a shame. It's not really a shock to me. I've been calling this for several months now, that if they passed this tax, that we would actually end up with less tax revenue. And what a shock, it's come true. Meanwhile, this tax will translate directly to hurting our farmers, which, you know, is still a huge part of the community. My in-laws are a farming family. You know, I know very well this is a very bad thing for farmers. It also hurts the employees of Kentucky's tobacco companies. We have tobacco companies here in Kentucky. So you're going to be increasing our unemployment rolls, you're hurting our farmers, and tax revenue's down, which means they're going to have to increase everybody's taxes. Watch for it. By the end of this year, we will have a special session to raise taxes again. So what do we do that for? Why is it, don't want to litter. Why is it that we need to raise these taxes? What is it that the state of Kentucky is so wisely spending our money on? Well, I have a couple of examples, and there's plenty of great examples. My favorite one of all is the $2 million supercomputer that the University of Louisville just purchased. They don't really know what they're going to use it for yet, but that's really fast. It's fast. It's 25 fastest in the world. They could do all kinds of stuff with it. They don't know what, but obviously they needed to spend $2 million on something that they don't quite know what they're going to use it for yet. And then this morning, just something that kind of tweaked me. You know, the state loves to stock our lakes and public waterways and whatnot with fish. And I can't really describe it well here, and I apologize. There's a particular waterway in northern Kentucky that they stocked with 3,000 fish. And quite honestly, I was surprised that 3,000 fish fit in that waterway. But the point being that there are plenty of programs in the state of Kentucky, plenty of places that can be cut. And you know, to Bashir's credit, he has cut some of the budgets to some of those places. But as I mentioned, you know, University of Louisville, $2 million supercomputer. Northern Kentucky University spent $1 million redoing an intersection, putting a goofy European-style roundabout in it. Why? You know, there's examples of waste throughout government. Great, they've cut the budgets on several terrible, wasteful programs, but there are still much more to cut. There are many ways to do it. The only thing I ask of you today, please do not fall prey to the sin tax bait and switch. It will increase your taxes overall. And just to prove it, I have quit smoking. Today is day 2, so if I bite your head off in the crowd, I apologize. Thank you very much. Have a good day.